Independent grind powered by Tech 9.
All right, so we're on the phone with TrippyThaKid. I appreciate you hopping on, man. We'll go ahead and start from the beginning. Where are you from, and how'd you get into rapping?
I'm from New Jersey, and I started getting into rap and just basically recording all types of music probably 5-6 years ago, but I've always been like writing music and stuff since I was a kid. Never got to record it, but started recording about 5-6 years ago probably.
Just doing it all by yourself, or?
Actually, in the beginning, it was my boy from when I was in high school. He was like, yo, we should definitely start recording stuff. Your freestyles are nice, whatever. So I ended up going to his house. His name's Xavier, and we have like 3 or 4 songs, but then like it wasn't good quality. None of it was like a good quality mic. There was no equipment involved. It was just using Audacity, and it was just no good. So I ended up finding a couple other guys that kind of just had their stuff together with their mixing and mastering and whatnot, and I linked up with them, and I started by like smoking out my dude Gibby, and like he would just let me record as much as I wanted. Then he would mix, send it out. Everything would be dope that way. So I stuck with those guys, and then now they're my brothers now, all them.
Is that a part of the Midnight Society?
Actually, no. I was recently like asked to be a part of that, like within the past year, Midnight Society. I started out with my own group, Moon Movement, like 3 years ago, and now we're coming back, so that's going to be dope. They're all like my hometown friends and stuff.
The group that you started?
Yeah, Moon Movement.
Gotcha. So tell us about Midnight Society and how that came about.
Probably, well, like I said, probably like last year. I've been friends with all the guys in Midnight Society for a little while, just through like Facebook and SoundCloud networking and stuff. Like, I kind of just came into SoundCloud not knowing anything, and then a producer, LaDerek, who has worked with Lil Peep and all them. LaDerek has he kind of started me off. He had me add a bunch of guys on Facebook, and I just met Midnight Society through literally Facebook group chats and stuff. And they asked me to chill and do show for South by Southwest, and I just became really close with those guys too. Flew out to Texas and threw a house party show. It's pretty crazy.
What year did you go to South by?
Just this last year.
Oh yeah.
How did that end up going?
That was actually, we had a setup show, and someone like goofed up at the venue, and like we couldn't do the venue, but we actually had fans come from all over, like New York and stuff. Like we had some pretty devoted fans come out to like watch. So we ended up finding a kid who was like, yo, we could just leave here and go to our apartment and just throw a house party. So we just set up like huge speakers in their living room, and we actually got like permission from all the neighbors because we let them know the situation about our show got canceled basically, and everybody was cool with it somehow, and it went on to like 4 a.m. Everybody was all fucked up. It was dope.
I like shows, but a party sounds even better to me, honestly.
Oh yeah, no, it was great. We were like jumping on the couch performing. Oh, it was fire.
Yeah, I feel like South by is sort of, obviously it's like grown a lot and stuff since it started, but I still feel like, you hear stories like that or just stories of like people meeting up and doing dumb shit, and I think it's still like very much a good thing for artists to get out there. I guess, did you notice any, like whether it was your followers or maybe just networking, like any sort of improvements, or did you gain like a lot from that experience?
Well, yeah, really, it's just the experience itself is kind of like every time I do anything, go anywhere, meet new people from just like I've driven miles and miles and miles to meet different like people that I've met through music just to like chill for a weekend. I drove to North Carolina just to chill for a weekend and chill with a producer that I became close with, and just like I love to explore like just this underground world that I came into. I was not used. I'm kind of new to it, but like people sometimes, like my younger fans, they tell me I'm a legend because I'm a little older than some of the other guys. But like it feels good to have like this weird fan base that's kind of weird like me.
Yeah, it's crazy how like SoundCloud and YouTube as well, but they like introduce this lane of like people can fuck with you. You can have 15,000 people that are looking at your shit and whatever, but it's like such like a hardcore fan base that is really cool. Speaking of, I want to bring back LaDerek because he's a pretty well known producer at this point. Did he found you and just reached out to you?
Yeah, we actually, me and him together started the whole Moon Movement thing with my boy 2 Hour Mark, who's like, he's fire. He does like boom bap type stuff, and he makes beats, and he's a vocalist as well. And my boy Dana, Derek started that with me. He was like my first producer that sent me beats and whatnot. Like, we had a mixtape just in a couple days because he said, "Yo, I really like your style. I think we can get into some bigger like groups and work harder and do more instead of like putting out these goofy songs you're putting out." And I was like, all right, yeah, I guess. So I went along with it, and we ended up like making a tape in a couple of days, dropped it. I got like fans automatically, like right away. So he's a big part of it.
Yeah, and it's weird. Go ahead.
He sent me a beat pack just like 3 days ago. He was like, "You want to work again?" Because I haven't talked to him in a while, and he sent me a beat pack, and I was like, "These are pretty nice. They're crazy." So I like working with him because he kind of like got me started off.
Yeah, the producers of the underground are low key the guys that really know what's going on, and like seriously. In a lot of ways they could put people on too. Like you see that all the time. Just producers getting with the right people, and it works out for them. Yeah,
definitely.
So you've been doing this for how long? You been putting music on SoundCloud? Like 3 years?
Yeah, 3-4 years. Do you know who Suicide Boys are?
Yeah.
Well, I was like, when LaDerek first sent me that beat pack and I did the tape, right after that, my first collab that I ever got asked to like work with somebody, Suicide Boys, and I did the first collab they ever did with somebody outside of themselves. And we had and it's on Kill Yourself Part 1 is their EP name, and it's me and Bones are the only features on the tape, which is pretty dope.
I didn't even know they got Bones on a track. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty old. It's 3 years ago, maybe even 4 now at this point.
Well, being that we're in that realm, tell me about, I don't know if I get his name right. I've never heard him pronounce his name because it was Dylan Ross and now it's Roz Dilliams. Is that?
Oh, Roz Dilliams. Yeah, man. Dylan Ross.
Yeah.
He's like,
I saw that you got a verse from him. How'd that come about?
Yeah, man. I bought those verses. I was obsessed with Dylan Ross back when I first started. He was my favorite. He was my favorite artist when I first started. And my boy Mark, I was saying 2 Hour Mark, he's the one who shows me all the underground music. And he kind of got me started into like Bones, Dylan Ross, Team Sesh, Handsome, like that. We would make CD after CD and just drive in my car and do acid and just listen to Dylan Ross. Dylan Ross is a man.
Yeah, he's crazy. So was that just like you kind of hit him up on the internet bullshit or what?
Yeah, but he actually ended up being like, it turned out to be a little, like, I message him every once in a while still, but like I don't talk to him like I did, but he used to answer me and talk to me a good amount. He ended up sending me free shirts and stuff. My little brother rocks a Dylan Ross shirt like every other day because the shirt's so dope. It's like one of his original designs of one of his shirts.
That's crazy. I actually, he's not really big on social media, but I saw Kill Station upload a video of him, and I don't know, they were on like some video shoot or something like that. So that's cool that you're all connected into that way. And like, you know, you would never be able to tell, you know, because like you keep bringing up all these names. It's like, yeah, I know them, but low key, like somehow, some way, you guys are all somewhat connected, and like. I think that's the coolest part about the whole SoundCloud or underground scene, whatever you want to call it, is that everybody kind of works with each other, you know, in some ways.
Seriously, I love how it came about because I met like just as many people I met in school through all these years growing up. I met just as many people on SoundCloud and Facebook just in the past 4 years, and it's like I get to go anywhere I want and I know someone in that town. I get to go any state and I know someone in that area. Like, it's just crazy. It's really cool.
Yeah, you're starting to see that with like all the guys doing tours now. We actually were able to talk to Kill Station not too long ago, and he's trying to plan a tour, and that's kind of how he was talking about doing it, was that basically they go from, you know, who's kind of from where, and just kind of pinpoint it all out. And I know it helps too, like SoundCloud has the geographic deal, so you could kind of see what states are listening to you and like what regions are kind of fucking with your shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually found you off of the Moonlight Boys, that SoundCloud page. That
Oh,
EP,
really?
Yeah, like that project that you guys drop. Armstrong, I was fucking with heavily, and like obviously I did some research on it. So that's your little duo with. You might have to help me pronounce this one too. Prince Zai.
Yeah, Prince Zai, aka Resiah Jones. He's my brother. So like, he was going through like a dark ass time and deleted all social media, and I was going through the same thing. And my music started getting like more angry and less like singy and just like not sad anymore, but like pissed off kind of. And like, he hit me up out of nowhere and was like, "Yo, I'm back." And like, he lives in Colorado, where my family lives. My family moved from Trenton, New Jersey to Colorado for my dad's job. My brother, my sisters, they all live in Colorado. I actually flew out there. The first person I met up with, rather than seeing my family, was Prince Zai. Like, he's like my other brother. But he ended up hitting me up and saying, like, "Bro, I'm out of my depressed ways, and I'm ready to just lift off and take off. Like, I just want to keep going." And I ended up saying, like, "Bro, I'm in the same exact mood right now." And then we started making like singles, and then I sent him 3 beats. He got that shit done in like 40 minutes, and then he sent it back to me. I got it done the next day in like 40 minutes. We put that out, and now we have like more tapes already like ready. Like, we have more songs and more tapes ready, and we're trying to like. We love like Suicide Boys and them, but they're like more of a down. They say like their lyrics are more down, and we're trying to be like the same duo but uplifting, and maybe even like work with them one day in the future and like have like a fucking crazy collab like that.
Yeah, I think you guys go together well. You're kind of more of like a spitter, and he's kind of good with like his melodies and flowing and stuff like that. I really like the mashup. Tell me, do you have any formula on releasing music? Are you doing it like every week? Like, what? Or are you just whatever's fire you're dropping?
So what I do now is, because for a long time I've never had my own equipment ever. I've never had my own laptop, like my own interface box, my own mic, anything. I've been like hanging out with my home, and like I just smoke people out to use shit. Like, I'll just be like, dead ass, just like, "Yo, we could smoke a whole queue right now if you let me do 3 songs." And they're just like, "Oh, okay, that's fine with me." And then like it starts off like I collab with all these kids, and they become my fucking family. So like I have like a place to go and record, but like it depends on who's home and stuff. So I ended up, my boy Dana P, he ended up giving me all his old equipment, and I have it in my work basement. Go there every night and record as much shit as I can, knock out like crazy singles, paid collabs like projects with producers and stuff. I knock out as much as I can now, and then just, you know, like wait till the next day, and I write all day at work. If like I get my work done, then write the rest of the time, like hours of writing. And just like,
that's crazy. How old are you?
I'm 23.
Very cool. How do you decipher like working with people? Are you kind of reaching out to people to work with still, or is it kind of just people coming to you? Same goes with like producers.
Recently I've been kind of sticking to myself, and I just like, when I listen to music, I don't really listen to like all my inspiration turned me into like my own. I feel like I'm a little tiny piece of every single one of my inspirations, and then I can listen to my own stuff now and kind of dig it. Like, I used to not really like my own stuff, and now I'm really feeling like what I'm doing. So like I listen to a lot of my music and then just beats. I love producers. Like me and my boys just sit and listen to beats for hours. You don't even freestyle anymore. We just listen to how intricate a producer can get with his sound and his style. It's like freaking crazy. I just listen to beats.
Who are some artists, or like who were you inspired by that sort of helped you shape your sound?
Yo, that's crazy, because when I saw this email, I was bugging. Rich, Sess Crew, and Puck Calhoun, Tech Nine, like that was before I even recorded a song. Those were my favorite artists of all time. Like, and also like older music, Fat Joe and Big Pun and stuff like that. I love that too. But like, and like when I heard them, it was such a new, like fast, crazy, like so fast, but you can hear every word. Like I just love that whole group is so fire. So that was a huge influence. But then I like Organized Confusion and a lot of like underground older music, and even like Sublime, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blink-182 is a huge influence, just because I love to throw in every once in a while like a whiny singing song on a guitar sample. I love doing that shit. Like the beats could be used by Lil Peep, but like I do my own kind of rock voice on it rather than a pop voice.
That's awesome. I love hearing how strange, like, because I feel like I came from like the sort of the same, like, like a hip hop, like boom bap. I was a big boom bap guy, and like, being here working with Alec, like, sort of showed me the new, like, the whole new like SoundCloud era. And I feel like in a weird way, like it fits Strange really well, because like a lot of like the SoundCloud guys are doing things and experimenting and doing sounds that like aren't necessarily hip hop. So I think it's cool that like sort of you do have that Strange influence.
Yeah, definitely. I love huge influence. Not the email threw me off, honestly. I was like, what? Yo, fire.
Yeah, we're trying to bring the SoundCloud platform to the old Strange to kind of get it underneath its wing. Have you been able to see any like sort of money, or just have you been able to like see the future with this rap shit, or are you still in just a point where you're just working away and this is just what you like to do?
It's like, well, it's what I love to do, but it's like I get offers a lot that seem great and sometimes don't work out. So those offers really, really push me like crazy to keep going. Like, I don't know if there was no contract or anything, so I don't think I'm not allowed to say this, but I was actually asked personally by Rich Chiga to go on tour with him this fall, and I haven't gotten word back from him or his entire management yet, but they told me to like hold tight, we'll get back to you, and like it's been a while and his tour's coming up, so I figure I'm not going. And that kind of discouraged me in the beginning to get like that offer and then kind of get like no info about it. But like in all reality, like that offer in general is like that was like, wow, that's insane. So like if people like me like that, I just have a feeling that this is going to keep going. I keep getting more and more little offers like that. And like this email, like you guys, this interview, like that's huge. That's for me. That's going to push me even more too. Everything kind of pushes me more and more.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy about like SoundCloud and just the internet in general. It's like you never know who's listening or like who has an eye on you. It's like sort of crazy like that like almost out of nowhere.
I can't believe you guys sound Moonlight Boys. That's fire. We just started like literally like a month ago. That's so good.
Yeah, I saw that you guys hadn't posted that not too long ago. That's cool about the Rich Chiga stuff, because I believe this is his debut tour, I guess. I mean, he hasn't been around too long.
Yeah, and he had one other tour that he asked me if I was available for the first time, and he said that he would try, but he doesn't think it's going to be possible, but he just wanted to let me know that he wanted me there. And then this second tour that he's doing now is like way bigger. It's like his first album's coming out before the tour or something like that. And then that I actually got an email from his manager asking if I was available for the tour. So that like hyped me up even more, and then kind of just never got word. So.
Gotcha. Well, it's looking good for you, man. I mean, you just got to keep pushing forward. And I think like what you're doing as far as collabing with a bunch of people and getting beats and getting that relationship. I think a lot, not enough like artists don't actually make a relationship out of a working relationship. They kind of just get the work and then they kind of like move on. It seems like you're more connected and, you're trying to actually have something other than just a working relationship. So that's really cool. You got anything that you're stoked for coming up, or anything you're working on?
Well, me and Hounds, the producer Hounds, is like, I just recently linked with him, and every time we make something, we make it so quick. He mixes it amazing. He's really, really good at mixing. And we drop it, and it does better than my other songs. They do really good compared to my other songs. Like, such a quick, good reaction, and people are hitting me up like on Snapchat, yo, like, listen, they're playing it at parties. And it's like kind of darker and like hard, but I guess like I can't picture people getting down to it at a party, but people are still bumping it because I guess it just goes freaking hard.
You consciously think about making party music versus not making party music?
No, I don't ever try to make a party song, except for like if I get a beat, I'm like, oh my god, this is funky. I would love to see someone play this at a party. Like, but that rarely happens. Usually I just get beats, I pick which one, I go like do as best as I can with the flow, and sometimes I get technical with lyrics, but a lot of the time it's just mainly for the sound. Like, I love flow so much. It's like the most important part to me because it's like using your mouth. It's like a instrument. But like, I also love using good lyrics because a message is always going to go farther than just a flow. So, you know.
That's dope. Well, go ahead and plug yourself where we can find you at as far as social media goes, and we'll wrap this up.
All right. At TrippyThaKid on Twitter with a D-A instead of a T-H-A. And then on Instagram, it's at TrippyThaKid. And SoundCloud, at Moon Movement.
This is the genius, Chris Calico. Cali, baby. Letting you know you're tuned into Tech Nine's Independent Grind on Dash Radio.